Good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. Let's go to our screen. So our word of the day is Eustress. Eustress right here. Moderate or normal psychological stress interpreted as being beneficial. My new job was a challenge, but it was a Eustress. I always found final season to be a source of Eustress and motivation. So there you got it, your word of the day. And now let's go share the screen and take a look at what's moving. It's a bit of a down day on the market. So here is Microsoft is leading. Apple is up, Amazon is up, Google is down, Meta is down, Nvidia is down over 2%. All of the semiconductors are being hit. Financial services seem to be doing well. Energy, the rest of the market seems to be doing okay. So there we have it. And let's go to our screens. Take a look at this is CrowdStrike. It's pulling back to its 200-day moving average, it looks like. We got XLF is up slightly. We saw with the financials. Our communications is going to be down because two big tech companies, Meta and Google, are down. Energy is up. We saw all the energy doing well. Let's see what we got over here. Oil prices keep rising. Our trade with crude oil is doing fine. Biotech is up slightly. The other biotech is up. Infrastructure is up. Semiconductors are down. Pulling back to the 20-day moving average. Was a little under and it got a little bit of a bounce. Building materials will slow to come up. There we go. And they pull back to their 10-day moving average. Airlines, pretty flat. Zebra Staples up slightly. Healthcare sold off, got a little bit of a bounce, up slightly. Metals and mining are up this morning. And our housing sector is bouncing as well. So let's go to our dollar index. Dollar index gaps up. Wow, look at that. Rising metals was up. Silver pullback. Looks like it got a bounce off the 10-day moving average. Gold pulling back. Copper got a gap down. And got a gap down in Southern Copper. Got a gap down. It's trying to rally back in Freeport McMoran. Volley. Got a gap up. Amazing. Australian miner is up slightly. And finally, Rio. It's up slightly as well. Bitcoin continues its pullback. It fell below the 20-day. It's getting some support. Let me see if I can bring up this chart here. Yeah, it's come back pretty strong. We'll just see. See if I can add this. Add these two screens. So this is chart of Bitcoin. Go back to here. And now it's getting a little bit of a bounce up 34,365. Of course, I did put on this one a little too late, I guess. But we'll see what happens overnight. Put it on at 829. I'm just going to hold it here for a little bit, see what happens. Ethereum is getting a bounce as well, pulled back to its 50-day moving average, and now is bouncing. We added a little Ethereum at this level. So that is that. And let's see. Go from 0TNX. Our yields. Got a little bit of pullback in the yields. Look at our VIX. Tried to move higher and is sold off here. Went up to 1486 and is pulling back to low was 1397. We'd already hit this one, the one we're still waiting to get filled at 1301. Take a look at the IWM first. They're bouncing a little bit on the pullback in the yield. S&P 500 got a little bit of a bounce. Equal weight up 0.28. The NASDAQ pulling back a little, getting close to the 50-day moving average and a pullback on the equal weight as well. And the Dow Jones is actually bouncing. Super microcomputer got a big pullback today. They're offering, I believe, 2 million shares as a secondary to raise some more money. So people don't usually like to be diluted. MicroStrategy. Got a big bounce here. We sold it at 1335 right before the market opened. We'll just kind of wait and see where this heads to before we decide to jump back in. Not sure if the route in Bitcoin, the pullback is over. So we'll just continue watching. And there was a number of other issues. We're pulling back. We just pull those up. coin with Bitcoin going down. Pull back to the 20-day is bouncing there. Mara. Pullback is bouncing a little bit. Riot. Is bouncing as well. Hold. GCT. Which had broken out, now is totally sold off. It broke up here, and his strong pullback is falling to its 50-day moving average. Take a look at Apple. Is bouncing here. And then Google is pulling back. We'll see if it fills the gap here. Tesla had a good day yesterday, and it looks like they're giving it back today. Giving some of it back anyway, down 1.26%. Got a little slow action in our charting. It will pop up here. Stop our share here. We got it back, and here we go. Here's Microsoft. It is bouncing today. Netflix pulling back to, looks like the 10-day moving average. So let's go take a look at our screens for today. Only got 3 items today. Alpine immune systems. Wow, look at that nice move. At a few days of consolidation, I wouldn't really call this a base, maybe a shelf. And it's really bouncing. Earnings are up 133%. We got core and main. Big leader in industrial area. Pull back to their 10-day moving average and got lift off right there, up 7%. Got a couple of days of good volume, pretty high volume here, but it really didn't move too much. So that's didn't even pull back to the 10-day moving average. And then we got our airplane manufacturer in Brazil. Bounces into the 25-day moving up to 25 in the sale item. Sales area, what's up 5%, 100% increase in volume. Wow, our former leader that we had a big pullback. So that's Alpine. Elite Bio. The buying is coming back into this. Pulled back to its 200-day moving average, and now it is bouncing up. CompX International A
engages in manufacture of marine components, security products. Got a nice bounce up close to 7% today. Pretty good volume 2 days in a row. Here's core and main. Got 18 items here. We're not going to go through all of them. Frenetics Pharmaceutical is up big. EHang Holdings. Fusion Pharmaceuticals was up big before the market, and look at this move. Wow, up 98%. We got Nordstrom. Not quite a double bottom, but they're really taking off today, up 11%. At IQ, moving up close to 10%. And let's just take a look at Coral Bio, up a little over 6%. Develops therapeutics to treat patients suffering from sensorineural hearing loss. And then finally, what's up 10% on 200% increase in volume. Some of our other ones that we've looked at, we didn't look at Frenetics, up 16% today. Rare endocrine diseases, tumors is up pretty big. And EHang, China-based company, design, develop, and sell autonomous aerial vehicles and services, up 14.5%. And I believe this is Fusion Pharmaceuticals, which we saw earlier. So that's a look there. Just take a look at, got rid of ARM today. Just didn't like the downdraft under the 10-day moving average. Went down to 123. It is pretty volatile, so bouncing back and forth. We'll continue to watch it. We could always add it back in a jiffy, but I'll watch that one. What else is moving? Take a look at a couple of other GLSI. Continues to perform pretty strong. Moved up above 20, pulled back here to the 10-day moving average and is holding right about there. Elf Beauty has fallen below its 20-day moving average. We'll just have to kind of wait and see what's going to happen here. It fell a little lower and it got a little support here. So we'll just see if it can get back above its 20-day or if it's going to pull back to its 50-day. We have the average price right around 135, so we do have some room to run here. So sometimes you just have to hold on a pullback if you want to get the big returns. Take a look at Meta. Meta fell to its 20-day and is bouncing there. App got a little bit of a bounce there. So we got this we're just going to take a look at this next screen. We got pull it up here. So this is data that is marking the top 5 companies in the NASDAQ 100. This CrowdStrike pulled back near their 50-day moving average, getting a little bit of a bounce now. AMD is number 2 in the NASDAQ. Pull back to their 50-day, is getting a little bounce there. Constellation Energy. Looks like we got a similar look to the high tide flag. It isn't a high tide flag because it hasn't gone up 100% from this area. But really, I believe this is a recent IPO. Just take a look at this. Yeah, in public 2022. That's where your greatest returns are in IPOs. So Constellation Energy is number 3 on the NASDAQ. Meta is number 4. I looked at that previously. And NVIDIA is number 5. So it was number 1 previously, according to the service, and it's pulling back, bouncing off the 20-day moving average. And what are the top 5 in the S&P 500? Crowd is number 1. Coinbase is number 2, which is pulled back to the 20-day, which we showed earlier. BRT is number 3. It is bouncing off of its 10-day moving average right here. And Super Microcomputer and NVIDIA. Super Microcomputer, which is having a secondary item. Secondary, announced a secondary pullback, and now it's bouncing a little bit. So we're quite happy we sold this one yesterday, right in this area. And then NVIDIA rounds out the top 5 at number 5. So they're going to update this list on March 31st. So we'll check back with them on their models. So it says that CrowdStrike Holdings entered both of their models in November of last year at 237 and sold off hard, bottoming at 93. Based up in January and February, broke out at 120 to start its run. So that's a little bit on that information. So that's our show for today. This has been Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. Hope everybody has a great Taco Tuesday. Go out and support your favorite taco truck. Remember, Mornings with Michael is for education and information only. It's your responsibility to do your own due diligence. Have a great day, everybody. Go out there and keep executing on your goals and your activities.